Hello and welcome to the Lobcast, the podcast run by the lobsters for the lobsters. Now, we hope you've all had a fantastic Easter, and today's episode is a very special one because we're doing an England special to celebrate the Euros that are to come, celebrate England's 3-2 victory over Germany. So guys, England is the topic today. We have our resident Irish fan here, so we've got an unbiased Lobcast member. We've got Ross Barron, and we've got Sam Smith. So we've got 3 England regulars. Well, no, we don't at all. But
one wearing a Rangers top. Very joke.
So, guys, the first topic on the agenda today is: can England win the Euro title? Sam, do you think England have a good chance of winning this competition?
I think it might be a bit too early, considering you've got such heavyweights like Germany, Spain, all those sort of countries, and we're not quite there yet. We don't really know our best sort of starting 11, whereas the likes of Germany, Spain, all that lot do. I reckon by Russia 2018, the World Cup, I think we'll have a decent chance. But I think we'll get to at least the quarterfinals this year. I think we're good enough. We've got much better players than what we did 2 years ago at the World Cup in Brazil, and I think we've got enough quality to get us past the group stages in the last 16.
Yeah, I think this England generation that's coming up is maybe in that kind of stage where there's a lot of older players and there's a lot of young players, but there's not a whole lot in between.
Yeah.
Ross, where would you see England's chances this summer?
I think we should keep our feet on the ground as a nation, to be honest. Like the Germany result was a great result, but we can't go too overboard because it was a friendly at the end of the day. And we know what the Germans are like in competitive games anyway, what their record's like. But I think they've got a chance, but they've got to be careful to, if I was Roy Hodgson, I would be picking the form players rather than players that, have been in England squad for so long and they've been loyal to, they've given a good shift. But I would like to see the youth definitely kept with and not just dropped for more experienced heads. So, I mean, that brings me on to sort of the Rooney debate. And, I mean, it was one game, but we've just got to see how they get on these couple of friendlies. We've just got to see what the younger players do. But, I mean, it will be interesting to see how Rooney does get integrated back into the team. I know he's England captain, but, I mean, the pace and tempo that was shown in the Germany game was really good and, something we haven't seen in a while. So I think we've got a chance. We've got an outside chance, I think. I think semi-finals would be progress for England. But yeah, I mean, there are good teams in it. Like France are looking strong. Dimitri Payet is on fire, and Kante has been introduced into the squad. So they're like outside. Well, not even outsiders now. I'd say you put them in that bracket with like Spain and Germany, really for contenders. But I think England have got a chance, but just have to keep our feet on the ground for now. But
yeah, as our outside kind of correspondent here, David, how do you feel England? How do you think England are coping so far? How do you think they're going to the Euros? Are they in good shape for the Euros? Or?
I think they do have a chance. England, Spain aren't that great. They struggle in these these friendlies this week. I think other than France, you can really say that the top nation there. The only thing with England is the inexperience. A lot of these players are young. They've never played Champions League. Like some have played Europa League, but Europa League isn't the same as playing Champions League or European Championships. It can crush them. It can if they do bad. We've seen a few players that have gone to these championships, play bad, and that's it. Career nearly over. But I think England have a great chance of winning. There's not many great sides in European football looking at it. I know Germany will have a completely different team come the European Championships. There's a lot of players that have been missing and a lot of injuries for them.
Yeah.
Although that was thankful for Ireland. But they haven't done great since the World Cup final. And there's got to be changes. I think this be Joachim Löw's last time with Germany. I think he'll be gone at the end of the European Championships.
Yeah, I think England maybe dark horses, perhaps.
Yeah, dark horses completely. That's a good label. We just don't want pressure on England, because when you put pressure on England, then they seem to fall over and keel over, don't they, at the first stage? But it's just the media hype, isn't it? But
Sam, what were you going to say?
I think on Saturday, once Germany got 2 goals, they sort of sat back a bit, whereas in an actual tournament, I think they would have gone for a third and fourth like they did in 2010 against us, and I think they sat off a little bit, and it did really help us. But I don't think you can really take much away from how we played in that last half an hour when Vardy came on.
Yeah, I think generally England have this attitude of we're either going to do really badly or we're going to do really well, and we never really do the latter. So the Euros, I mean, it's a good opportunity to show the world, or Europe at least, what England are capable of, and especially the young players like Jamie Vardy, who's had a great season, obviously. You know, if anything, it's a good time to test ourselves ahead of the World Cup, which is, you know, it feels a long way away, but it's only 2 years, and it's there's going to be a lot of players fighting for those places right now. So Sam, who kind of would be England's best competitor, would you feel?
As in players?
As in teams, nations in the Euros.
Oh, right. I mean, you've got the likes of Germany and Spain and France are all doing well. So yeah, them lot. There's not really, there's not really anyone who sort of, what's the word? Sort of blossomed like we have in the last sort of 6 to 12 months, and they've really come into the same bracket as that sort of lot. So I think we're, out of everyone else, we're the most likely to sort of join that lot, because obviously Holland, who we played, is it tomorrow we play Holland?
Yeah.
They haven't even qualified, which was amazing considering the talent they've got in their squads. But that lot that I mentioned, I think they'll probably challenge us the most.
Ross, do you feel that the same thing? Belgium, perhaps, a good competitor as well?
Well, the funny thing is, when Sam was just speaking there, I was thinking about the European nations, and I was like, who's out there? You know, who's out there? And I thought, well, Belgium are actually ranked number 1 at the moment. We haven't discussed them yet. So you can't write off Belgium, I suppose, but they haven't really got, to get to the final stages of a tournament, it's that tournament experience, isn't it? They haven't got the experience that countries like Spain and Germany have recently of getting into the, you know, the business end of tournaments. So I was going to say, what about Ireland, you know, on their day? Who knows what they can do? But yeah, I think it's probably, again, I think, because obviously it's in France, so France's squad is really impressive at the moment. I would, at the moment, on form, I'd possibly sort of put France maybe ahead of Spain and Germany at the moment, but it just comes to tournaments, really. It's going to be Spain, France, Germany, possibly Belgium as outsiders. Apart from that, I mean, in previous tournaments, Czech Republic have been quite good, but recently Czech Republic are not really the side that they were. So it's hard to look past those teams, really. Portugal, maybe Cristiano Ronaldo if he's on fire, but they're a bit hit and miss. I think they lost the other day. They had a bit of a shocker.
Penalty, I think.
Yeah, Ronaldo missed a penalty and they ended up losing, I think. So they're a bit inconsistent, Portugal. But at big tournaments, their recent record's quite good. So maybe Portugal could be another outsider, but I can't look beyond. Obviously, England a dark horse, but yeah, I can't really see much beyond that. But
David, could Ireland be England's biggest competitor this summer?
No. Ireland, it's a tough group for Ireland with Sweden, obviously, well, to beat Sweden, all you have to do is keep Ibrahimovic quiet. You can keep Ibrahimovic quiet, you can keep Sweden quiet, pretty quiet. Belgium, they were a bit hit and miss at the last World Cup, Belgium, and they got all this media hype about a great young country and a great team, and I didn't see that. And but Italy, I think, are a team to watch coming out of Ireland's group. They're a country that does pretty bad in the warm-up and build-up to friendlies, but will get better. And then the minute the tournament comes, it's like, what's the big deal? And they normally get to a final. It's just like how you lose to these small nations and friendlies, and then it comes to the tournament and they're like world champions. I also think Wales.
Wales, yeah.
If Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey can stay fit to the Euros, I think Wales are a country to watch out for. I think they could do well. And they came out of a group with Belgium in it, and I don't know, they beat Belgium.
They topped the group, I think.
Belgium twice. I think they beat them.
Yeah.
But on their day, you never know. And as what said, Portugal, if you can get Cristiano Ronaldo firing on his day, you never know what can happen with Portugal. But I have to agree, other than France, I don't really see, like, France are the only country that I really want to watch now, because they do look young and exciting to watch now. So I don't see past France winning it.
I think the home nations have all kind of got a good chance, or at least the ones that have qualified for the Euros. But it's interesting to note how much you can take from these friendlies. I mean, Spain drew their last two friendlies against Romania, and I can't even remember the other one. But Germany obviously not in form as well in their friendlies. I think they lost to Australia at some point, or they drew to Australia.
Germany, they drew with Australia, and they lost with the USA, and they lost to Ireland, Poland, and Argentina, all since the World Cup final. But they've beaten Gibraltar 7-0, but they haven't scored 7 goals. Gibraltar. And they beat Georgia and Poland once. And, well, they scraped past Scotland as well, which was a shock in the group. I thought they might have hammered. I thought they were going to hammer everyone. Because the World Cup qualifiers, they came to Ireland, to Dublin, and beat Ireland 6-1. Embarrassed them.
Yeah.
And then you go 2 years later and Ireland are beating them 1-0, which is a shock.
Poland, I forgot to mention Poland actually. I think they could be possibly a dark horse or an outsider for it as well, because they've looked pretty convincing recently. I think they smashed Finland 7-0 or something. And they've got, I mean, Lewandowski, you can't really rule them out, can you? Prolific goal scorer, so
that's interesting. Exciting players.
Interesting. Yeah. They've got some good players as well. A few
Wojciech Szczesny in goal, which is always a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I think a lot of Europe's nations have kind of 2 or maybe 3 really top players. Like Belgium maybe have Hazard and company who aren't on form or even fit at the moment. Obviously Sweden relying on Ibrahimovic a lot of the time, Ronaldo, and Portugal. England don't really have that kind of problem, I don't think. They don't have one player that they would really miss if he wasn't there, which I think is only a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more depth in our strength. There's a lot more depth in our squad these days, and that's really helped us over the last sort of 6 to 12 months when we've been qualifying.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Dele Alli would be a big miss, I think. Imagine, God forbid, if he got a little injury before the Euros. Obviously, touch wood, he doesn't. But I think he would be a major miss out of all the England players at the moment. But yeah, see.
That definitely shows a lot of how much Dele Alli has come on this season. That he's got like 3 caps or 3 caps. And the fact that we would miss him that badly shows, how little our midfield is rated, with Danny Drinkwater and other players.
World class Drinkwater. He learnt his trade at Man United. So what can I say?
That actually leads us on to our next. Jordan Henderson, yeah. Well, that actually leads us on to our next topic. So I was going to ask all of our Lobcast members here. For one player, and you're going to have to explain why you would choose that player, and we'll come up with a Lobcast England's number 23 squad, basically. So, Sam, I'll start with you. One player, who are you going to choose?
Dele Alli.
Yeah.
Easy option. He's had an amazing season. I actually claim to have said he was going to be player of the season in one of the first episodes, so I'm claiming that. And he's unbelievable. His link-up play with Kane in recent weeks has been phenomenal, and he's a massive part. Even at 19, he's a massive part of how Tottenham play, and he showed on Saturday night that he'll be a big part of England's future.
I don't mind admitting, even as an Arsenal fan, actually, that he is incredible. I mean, I've been kind of waiting for that drop of form. I think we've all been waiting for it a little bit, but he just keeps going, and he's 19, and he plays like he's 24, 25. So it's, I don't think you can not take him. He's an obvious choice, of course. But so Ross, who are you going to choose?
I can see.
Sorry. No, you go, Sam.
That's all right. You go, Sam. Right.
I can see something sort of when Rooney was his sort of age and he got injured and then sent off in 2 consecutive tournaments. I'm sort of worrying that sort of thing's going to happen to Dele Alli. He's going to pick up a big injury. He's got quite a short temper as well in games. He does get up in people's faces, and I can see him going over his boiling point and getting sent off.
So Ross, who is your player?
Right, my choice is in contrast to Dele Alli, and it's going to be Wayne Rooney. So
very interesting.
The reason, I know, even though he didn't even play, and the reason being is obviously he's the current England captain, and it's more from an experience point of view. I know that I was listening to someone on the radio speak about Rooney, and he was saying that potentially he could be a decent substitute, because obviously Wayne Rooney, full 90 minutes these days, you just don't get the high tempo 90 minutes of Wayne Rooney did a few years ago. But if you brought him on for the last 25 minutes, you would get that. You could get all of it out, all of his energy. You could just in that burst, and you might be able to get good performances out of him that way. And I think obviously his experience speaks for itself, really. And he's good. He's a good person to have in the dressing room to keep the young players calm in the big moments. So I think more from an experience point of view, Rooney has to go, even if he doesn't start the first match of the Euros. But he could be a pretty good substitute, I think. I think Rooney would be quite. I know he's got the most caps in the squad, but I think he'd be quite humble, and I think he would accept a role as mentor, more bit part player than starting. I mean, I would love to see Vardy and Kane start. I know I haven't mentioned Vardy and Kane yet, but I'd love to see them start really and offer a bit more pace than what Rooney can do. But yeah, so that's my selection, Rooney.
Yeah, I don't think you could get away with not taking him with him.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a big slap in the face. We'll just leave it at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So
David, who are you going to choose for your first pick?
I was actually going to say Wayne Rooney as well, just for experience with them younger players. But Chris Smalling would be the first one I'd have on the play. I think he's England's best centre back by a mile now, even though on Saturday England didn't look great at the back. They didn't, but I don't know. I wouldn't play Gary Cahill beside him anyway. But no, Chris Smalling, I think he's a solid centre back. He's matured quite quickly since the red card at Man City last season, and is easily now England's best centre back. So
I'd have to agree.
I'd agree.
So my first pick is going to be Joe Hart. It's quite an obvious one, but he's England's best goalkeeper, arguably at the moment. I would have probably had Jack Butland maybe slightly ahead of him this season at least, but with his injury, it's really bad timing for Jack Butland. But he's still going to get his opportunities. But for me, Joe Hart has to be there, and I'm going with Joe Hart. Right, Sam, your second pick.
Nathaniel Klein. I think I've got to stay loyal because Palace through and through. He's by far England's best right back. I know Kyle Walker's had a decent season, very good season. But Klein's younger, I think, and he's another one like Ali who has a big future in the England side. So I think this tournament we've got to start looking at the future, bring those sort of players in, give them tournament experience, and hopefully he'll have a good tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Ross, your second pick.
Right, I'm going to go for a player who was knighted after the England-Germany game. I'm going to go for Mr. Sir Eric Dyer. He can get a place on the plane, definitely, or the boat to France. But Eric Dyer, definitely, for me, he sort of proved his credentials against Germany. I know it was only a friendly. But for me, it's a great... it's interesting to look at a new spine for England, you know, with Dele Alli, Kane, and Dyer. Like, obviously, most of the spine of the new generation England side. So that's quite interesting. And Dyer, Carrick, to me, is looking a bit tired. And Dyer's like I don't know. He's like obviously a much more younger version of Carrick, but he gets around the pitch better than Carrick these days. And he's a bit more dynamic. So I think Dyer definitely has to go. And the experience for him for the tournament will stand him in good stead, I think, for the future. So it's my second pick.
I think Eric Dyer is an interesting one because obviously he started his Tottenham career kind of at centre back and right back with Tottenham, and he's gradually kind of got to a central midfield defensive position, and he really does make it his own. We saw against Germany, I know it was only a friendly, but we saw what he can do, and a really good option, yeah, very good option. David, your second pick of the night.
I'm going to say Danny Rose. I thought Danny Rose had a great game against Germany, won a few last-ditch blocks, and without Luke Shaw, I don't think England really have another centre-back other than Danny Rose that I can think of, but Danny Rose, I think, should be going.
I agree. My second pick, I know this one's going to please Stuart Fagg. I'm going to choose Harry Kane. You can't not take him again. It just had a great season, 2 great seasons in fact. I mean, I was one of the people that thought, yeah, he would be a one-season wonder. That's going to happen. But no, he's proving everyone wrong. He's proving me wrong. And at the moment, he looks like England's kind of best striker. I mean, his goal against Germany was really well taken. So yeah, Harry Kane is on the plane for me. Samuel, your third pick.
I'll take Luke Shaw. I think he's supposed to be fit in the next couple of weeks, and even he isn't. Like David said, he's our best left back. Only left back of that sort of calibre. I think Rose and Bertrand are slightly sort of less quality, and Luke Shaw is another one, like Klein and Ali, who will be in the team for a long time, next sort of 10 years. And he's unlike the others, he gets forward well, but he also defends really well. I know Rose has brought that into his game, the defensive side into his game a lot more recently, but I think Shaw's a lot more rounded, and he's our best left back.
Top choice. I mean, his fitness is quite a worrying thing, but you know, if he's going to be fit, then you have to take him. I think you've got to.
He was looking like his best player this season up until that PSV game.
He was,
He done all the hard work in that summer. He went away and brought a personal trainer with him and lost weight and worked on his fitness, and it did look like it worked up until late, breaking his leg. So if he's fit and able to get himself back to that form, I think he would have to go.
Ross, who is your third pick?
Right, as my third pick, I'm going to go with the party man, Jamie Vardy. I mean, if they need, anyone to throw a party after the games, there's only one man. But definitely Jamie Vardy has to go. His work rate is phenomenal. He must have the highest work rate out of all the England players probably, and he gives you 110%. He gives you consistent performance every week. So Jamie Vardy for me, it's a simple one. He has to be there, and pace is going to be really valuable to the England side in the Euros. So yeah, any pace we can get in that's good, and goals. So he's proven this season. So.
What did you think of his goal against Germany? It's pretty.
Yeah.
Special.
Oh, well, there we go. Like, he's so humble as well. I don't know if you saw his interview after the post-match interview, and just goes, "Yeah, well," he's so nonchalant. Like, he just went, "Yeah, well, I thought I'd try it, but I wasn't convinced it would work." But he knew exactly what he was doing. Like, but he's not like, he's so like down. He's so humble. Like, he's not just. He just treats it like a game down the park. Like, the way like he was being interviewed after the game, it was just like, well, you know, I tried it. I didn't think it would come off, but it did, luckily. So yeah, I like that about him.
It's like his mindset's still in non-league a bit. He'll try things that he would have done back then, and it comes off more often than not.
David, who is your third choice?
I'm going to say Danny Welbeck. This one kills me to say. Danny Welbeck has actually looked good since coming back from injury. I think, how many goals has he now scored for Arsenal? He scored a few goals every time I seem to watch Arsenal play. He seems to score, which he couldn't do at United. But the only thing is he takes about 50 chances. But you could play him on the win, and play him as a winner.
He has totally changed Arsenal since he came back from injury. I mean, I like Giroud, but when Welbeck comes on, there's a lot more movement. There's a lot more going on up front, and I think Welbeck's a good choice. Yeah, Sam. Oh no, it's me. It's me. Yeah. I'm going to take Gary Cahill. Alongside Chris Smalling, I think he's England's best defender. I don't think. Well, he's obviously not had a great season with Chelsea, but there is a real lack of English centre halves. I mean, you've got Scott Dan, who I know you would take, Sam. But I'm going to take Gary Cahill just on principle that, you know, he's a solid defender. He knows what he's doing, and I'm taking Gary Cahill. Sam, all right, you can't choose Scott Dan. Who are you going to choose?
I'll take Jordan Henderson. I think you've got to look past this season. This has been his first season as captain. He's adapting to a new style under Jurgen Klopp. But I think he's a very, very good midfielder. He's extremely underrated at the moment. And he passes well. He gets about the pitch. He tackles. He's a really good, well-rounded midfielder. And he's I don't know if would he start for England? I'm not sure, but he's good. He's good to have in the squads, especially if you're bringing him on with like if you're trying to defend a lead or something. He'll put in a shift in the centre. So yeah,
Jordan Henderson, good choice. Ross, who's your next choice?
Well, I was going to say James Milner, so he doesn't retire from international football, but I'm going to say Ross Barkley should go. And he's the type of player, or the new Paul Gascoigne, as everyone was saying a couple of years ago. But technically, I mean, such a gifted player, and he's got that moment of magic. If, say, we're sort of losing a game 1-0 with 15 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, he's a player you can bring off the bench, and he has got that moment of magic in him. He's got some strike on him as well, and he's powerful, very powerful, strong player. Obviously young, gets about the pitch well, works hard. So I think Ross Barkley is another one that has to go for me.
Yeah. I think I see a lot of young Wayne Rooney in Ross Barkley, the fire, the desire that Wayne Rooney had. Well, he still does have, but I don't think his legs have quite able to catch up with him these days. So David, who is your next choice?
I'm going to say Daniel Sturridge.
Sturridge.
Yeah, somehow he seems to keep himself fit for the moment, but he's actually looked well. He actually looks like he wants to play again. He's quick. You never know what you can get with him, and he's always a good player to bring off the bench. That's why I would bring Sturridge.
Good choice. My next pick is going to be... I'm not actually sure, actually. Professional stuff at the Lobcast. It's a tough one.
What about
keeping track of who we're saying?
I'm keeping track.
Why don't you take David Beckham? Get him out of international retirement.
I'm actually going to go with someone who is maybe about as much good as David Beckham is at the moment. I'm going to take Theo Walcott. And I know this is a controversial one amongst Spot Lobster users, but Theo Walcott for me, if you don't start him, I wouldn't start him on current form. But for me, he just offers something different. He's not always going to score. I hate to say it, but he gets in there and he can set people up. And the thing is, a lot of people fear Theo Walcott. Even just the thought of Theo Walcott coming on, is enough to scare opponents, because it makes them think about the game in a different way. It opens the game up, and for me, Theo Walcott's just a good choice. What do you guys think about Theo Walcott?
Oh. Right.
Hit and miss.
He's lost a bit of his pace.
He has.
I think
yeah.
pace was a massive part of his game, but since all those injuries problems he's had, he's lost it a bit.
Pace was 90% of his game, wasn't it? To be honest,
It's fair.
No offense to him, but yeah, Walcott it was like predominantly pace, but he's probably lost. I mean, just natural, isn't it? Age and stuff. He's not that old, but he's not 18, 19 anymore, is he?
Yeah, I'm going to take Theo Walcott regardless. It is what it is. So Sam, who's your next choice?
Has no one said Raheem Sterling yet?
No one. No one said that yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he's probably our best winger at the moment, best out and out winger. Still got so much to add to his game, but that will come on with age, and he'll start to understand the game a bit better. But I think at the moment he's our best winger. Like you said with Walcott, he scares defenders. He's got a lot of pace and trickery. He can get in behind. He can come short to receive the ball. Yeah, I'd take Sterling.
Good choice. Yeah, England's best winger. I have to agree with that. Yeah, he's injured at the moment, isn't he? Sterling.
Yeah, I think he
is. Yeah.
Ross, who was your next choice?
Right.
17.
I'm going to pick a player who started against Germany, and you've got to take him. I'm going to pick Jack Butland. He's got to go for me.
Isn't Jack Butland? I thought he was ruled out of the.
Oh, is he?
He's ruled out.
Is he not for the Euros? Is he?
Oh, you can take him if you want. You can take him.
I'm going to take him anyway, just for the laugh. So maybe he can help Jamie Vardy throw the parties after the England trophy win. But all right, okay. I didn't realise he was actually out of the Euros as well. But that's another discussion. That's not something that we'll see. Okay, cool. Right. Okay, if he makes a miraculous recovery, right, I would take him. But so apart from that, I suppose I'm going to take. You obviously have to take more than one goalkeeper. We've mentioned Joe Hart, so that's my thinking. So Forster, I'll probably take Forster, although he has been a bit prone to sort of mistakes recently in the Premier League. But I would still take him because I think he's solid. So Forster for me, you've got to take a backup goalkeeper.
Oh yeah.
So it's a no-brainer. So I don't really need to explain too much why. But yeah, there we go.
Awesome. David, who is number 18 in our England squad?
Mark Noble.
Mark Noble. Wow.
I think West Ham have had a solid season this year. They're still in the FA Cup, going for a Champions League place. Mark Noble, at 28, captain West Ham, played there all of his career. I think he's probably one of England's better centre mids. That must be mentioned. I think better than Jordan Henderson. I was either going to say Mark Noble or Danny Drinkwater, but I don't want to be the one to explain to bring Danny Drinkwater.
He's talented.
He seems to be doing something. Anyway.
Okay, so my next choice, we need a third goalkeeper, I think. Most teams take 3 goalkeepers. I'm going to take Foster.
I've said him already.
No, Foster.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Not Forster, Foster, sorry.
I'm
getting confused. Easily done.
But Ben Foster, I think, obviously, I really rated him when he was at Manchester United. I thought he would be kind of Manchester United's goalkeeping fix after Van der Sar, maybe. But he does well at West Brom. He doesn't get a lot of the headlines or anything, but he does his job, and as a third choice goalkeeper, that's all you really ask for. So my third choice for goalkeeper at least is Foster. Yeah.
Okay.
Sam, who is your next choice?
John Stones.
Oh, I was going to say that. You took the words out of my mouth. Oh, right, okay. Fine.
I think he adds a little bit. He adds some difference to the centre back options we've got. He'll bring the ball out of play. He'll bring it into the midfield. He's really most composed on the ball. He's not that great defensively. I think like Sterling, he's got a lot left to learn, but he's still young, and he can also play right back as well. So I think that frees up another option somewhere if you take Stones as a backup option to both centre back and right back. So I think that'd be an intelligent sort of choice for Hodgson to make.
Absolutely, John Stones. He's had a weird season. He's not been as good as he was last season, I don't think, but he's still obviously one of England's best performing centre backs. That's not a lot to say, but definitely you've got to take him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ross, who is your next choice?
Right, next choice.
It's
another obvious. Oh no, this is another obvious one. He's one of the best players in the world at the moment, and learnt his trade at Man United. He's United taught him everything he knows, but it's got to be Mr. Danny Drinkwater for me. He's got to go. He's only 26. He's still got a few years ahead of him, especially in the position he plays in, and he's had a great season for Leicester. He's been one of their key players, one of their best players. So I think for me, Drinkwater's where he has to go, really.
Yeah, that's a controversial one. I think a lot of people have their own opinions on that one, but Drinkwater, you can't deny, has had a brilliant season. Whether that's because of whether Leicester's great season is because of Drinkwater is debatable.
No. He's obviously assisted. He's part of that, isn't he? Part of that unit. But I think obviously backup, But he's not. I wouldn't start him ahead of Dyer, but
yeah.
But he's ahead of Carrick, I think, at the moment.
David, who is your next choice? Number 22.
There's nobody said Leighton Baines.
No.
That's true.
No.
I think he seems to be the forgotten man now of English football. I was actually when I seen this England squad announced, I was actually surprised that he wasn't in it. Because Leighton Baines, everybody seems to love Leighton Baines.
Now, 23. I have the honour of choosing the last player, and I'm in between. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
then I had
Marcus Rashford. There's an obvious one. He's the English Pele. He's got to go on the plane.
Well, you see, I'm between Wilshere right now. I'm between Rashford, but I'm actually going to go for. We really do need a backup right back, I think, and so I'm going to take Kyle Walker. None of us have mentioned Kyle Walker. Yeah. So, again, with Danny Rose, he's had a fantastic season with Spurs. Whether they win the league or not, he's one of England's most consistent performers. And it doesn't matter what I think of Tottenham or Kyle Walker as a person. I'm going to take Kyle Walker. So, I've chosen the last player, but who would choose Kyle Walker? How have you guys?
Yeah, I would.
You would?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah. Any other options? Rashford, obviously, a big one.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really had enough first-team football, in my opinion. However, he could go on a crazy goal-scoring streak. He could score a goal a game before the end of the season, and then he could give Hodgson a bit of a selection dilemma for the squad. So you never know, but doubtful for me.
Sam, would you be taking Jack Wilshere?
Only if he's fit. I think as I've ranted about for quite a while, he's our best midfielder by quite a distance, bar probably Ali. I think he's probably on the same sort of level. We've all sort of forgotten how good Wilshere is recently, and he's our best midfielder by quite a distance. I'm not going to go into details and like I did the other day.
It is a big question of whether he will be fit, because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each update that Arsene Wenger gives on Jack Wilshere seems to put him further and further back. You know, he was supposed to be fit by February, and then, well, the Arsenal injury curse continues, and we're yet to see him. We're yet to see him in. I don't think he's even started full training. I think he's still in kind of, you know, in limbo somewhere. I don't know where he is exactly, but Jack Wilshere, yeah, a good choice.
Spent half his life injured, hasn't he, Jack Wilshere? So
He really has.
like, unfortunately. But do you know what? If it wasn't for all these injuries, he would be. If say he stayed fit throughout his whole career and had just minor niggling ones, he could have been something special. I think Wilshere. Now he could be something really special. He could be a world class player, like a top, like elite world class player. But it's just such a shame with his serious injuries.
Like the Owen Hargreaves of this generation.
Oh, he was. I tell you what. Yeah. Well, we laugh, but before he got his first serious injury, or at Man United, he was brilliant for England. He was like player of the year for England. I think he won player of the year or something. But he was brilliant. I remember there's one major tournament. He was really, really good, but his injuries just knackered him.
David, who would you be choosing as your last pick? A wild card, if you choose that.
I don't really know.
It is a tough question.
Yeah. It'll probably be Wilshere as well. I think people forget he's that good because we haven't actually seen him so long. When was the last time we actually seen Jack Wilshere play? Was sometime last season anyway, but I think Wilshere, if he's fit, should go. I can't really think of anybody else.
Absolutely. So right now on screen, I'm going to do some magic-y graphic kind of thing to show you our full England squad that the Lobcast have chosen. And comment on this, Lob, if you disagree or you would rather have some other players in there. And yeah, it's a very contentious issue, the England squad. There's going to be a lot of players that miss out. We've not mentioned James Milner. We've not mentioned Michael Carrick. We've not mentioned Marcus Rashford either. You know, we've got a lot of players that'll be sitting at home watching the Euros on TV. Interestingly enough, what's his name? Fabian Delph, of course. Not mentioned Fabian Delph.
Oh, yeah. He's another Wilshere, isn't he? Loves the injuries, but I don't know. Sturridge, it'd be interesting if
he's as well.
Yeah, Sturridge needs to go. I mean, I didn't say Sturridge before, and I know we've already got him in the squad, but he's a good player when he's fully fit and firing.
Absolutely. So that has been the Lobcast England special. If you've enjoyed this episode, feel free to leave a like. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Yeah, leave a like. Follow the Lobcast at the Lobcast, and we'll see you on our next episode where we don't know what we're going to do yet, but obviously it'll be something crazily good. And you know, you'll want to tune in. So hit the subscribe button if you want to do that. Follow us, like us, all that jazz. So thank you from me. Thank you from the Lobcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, that's it. Be grateful, guys. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.